Economies have learned how to manage that. Consumers have learned how to manage that. We are not at risk as we were a year and a half ago. There is much more resilience in our models today. I do want to close on a few notes on gender balance and gender diversity because it is one of my focus. And whereas on the economic trends, I've been really optimistic, I am much less optimistic on everything that has to do with our gender balance sheet. And the reason for that is that the crisis has been hitting women extremely hard. I think there are 3 trends to watch for that are emerging in this post-COVID period that I would encourage you to think about proactively on how these trends can actually become positive forces for both male and female worldwide. The first one is new ways of working. A lot of companies are stabilizing with hybrid ways of working. This could potentially be very positive for women because it gives access to the workforce to women who were otherwise stuck at home.
But just finally, what has been a couple of things been more important since COVID? I think the one that I really want to highlight, because this has been one of those kind of morphed but catalytic trends, is that COVID has made people feel solidarity with others. It has made people value the importance of local community and businesses. It's made them more socially minded, but also much more aware of where to source and how to source local and food provenance. And that's not going to change. And actually, we've called, it's been dubbed the conscious shopper. But evidence is very clear that the pandemic has served as a catalyst for the sustainability movement. 50% of all global shoppers reported making more environmentally friendly, sustainable or ethical purchases since the start of the pandemic. And all of the evidence we've got is showing that that is not reverting. In fact, it is growing. And my final slide, I promise. One thing to call out, it's impacted us, everybody in this room, either directly or indirectly, in a very broad sense, with 30% of consumers believing diversity and inclusion is more important now than it was pre-pandemic. And the reason I'm calling that out in a consumer lens is because for any brand or retailer, that's important to recognize that these are values that shoppers are looking for. So if you're a consumer, you're a brand, you're a retailer or an industry player, living with COVID-19 will require a strong understanding of the spectrum of these new preferences that have emerged.
But actually, even before COVID, we have identified several key megatrends that are driving up the demand for robotics and automation in our society. The first of these is individualization. So consumers today are very demanding. They no longer want to order the same thing as everybody else. They would like to have things more individualized and customized for them. And they want it delivered the next day. So this would not be possible without automation systems in the background that enable this kind of service at a large scale. The second megatrend is labor shortage. Now, this is driven partly by the aging population in many countries, but also because young people no longer want to work in manufacturing or factory jobs. Flexibility and simplicity are critical requirements from the industry, driven by the megatrends. Collaborative robots, such as you see here, is the answer to these challenges. As you can see, they are smaller, they're more approachable, and they look very different from traditional industrial robots that you might have seen pictures of from car factories. They are meant to work together with people, not replace them. In the future, I am sure there will be more robots around us, both in and out of factories, and maybe even in your local pizza place, because we have robots working in ice cream shops, in pizza places, etc. And what's important to remember is that they are here to help us.